Hi, I was trying to get hooked up. How's everybody? Sorry for being AOL so long. It's a lot going on. I hope y'all can hear me okay. I had to put some hair plugs in.
We can hear you.
Great. My son and my daughter are in the hospital at the very moment, about to deliver. So I'm listening for updates on them.
Well, why are you on this call?
Oh, no, this is, they're in Fredericksburg and they can't have anybody in the hospital anyway. And he's sending me some really good text updates. So we're okay. Her mom is there, her family, everything is good. So everything's great. Full even.
Very exciting.
So.
All right, I guess we're going to well, after the phone stops ringing, we're going to get started.
Who's,
Marianne, can you hear me?
Hi, Phyllis.
Hi. Sorry, I had trouble getting on. What can I say?
Well, that's okay. We're going to get started right now.
Okay.
Bear with me.
It's great to see everybody.
It's the whole of Teams is kind of going in and out on mine.
Do you guys see my screen?
No.
With the baseball players?
No.
Crumb. Let me try again. Hold on.
Wow.
How about now?
Now we see it.
Yay! How did I make it full screen a few minutes ago, Leslie?
Well, we see your whole. We see the whole screen.
Okay.
What we see, what you need us to see.
Okay, so let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. Tax season 22 is coming up. It's coming fast and furious, and we need to get a lot done. So I'm going to try to condense a lot of information into this presentation. We were only allotted 45 minutes. I think we might go just a few minutes longer than that because I want to make sure everybody hears everything we've got to say. But appreciate you being here. I want to do some introductions. Leslie Spruill has joined our team. She's a team leader. She's going to be training to become an MTL. If you don't know, I'm leaving after tax season. I'm going to move to Indiana. So Leslie is training up. So, of course, we all know that our purpose to provide help and inspire confidence in our clients and communities everywhere. I hope we're all living by that. I think most of you do. Just a reminder. Safety and security measures is going to be top priority community activities this year. We'd really like to participate in that more. The client experience, SOPs, virtual tools. You guys have all seen that before. So on safety, please do not hesitate to call 911 and lock the door if you feel in any way threatened by what's going on outside of the office. That is the first thing I want y'all to know. Everybody's safety is paramount. This year we have to wear a mask, but we do not have to do that survey thing that we were doing last year. They just ask that you take your temperature before you leave home, and then you'll certify that you did that when you clock in. We're going to clean the surfaces after each client. The ATLs and CSPs are going to help with that. Please stay home if you don't feel well. Call me, text me. We can certainly do without you. We can reschedule your appointments. You know, that's not a problem. Yep, take your temperature, keep the filing cabinets locked, and no locking files in your desk drawer. All files need to be returned to the whip drawer or the drawers up front. if you haven't finished them. All right.
Marianne,
Yes,
what temperature, how high does our temperature have to be for us to not go in?
98.7.
Wow,
No,
that's
I'll give you till 99. How's that?
okay.
But
Because
if
last
you,
year it was higher than that, but okay.
yeah, if you have any doubts at all, just please stay home.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just talking to my boss last night, and he said that there was another district where someone went into an office that felt like they kind of had a cold, and all the MTLs went in for a meeting there, and the next day that person had COVID, and the entire district can't do their care days where they're supposed to receive packages. No one can go in any of the offices. Everything's shut down, and now multiple of them have COVID. It's just better to be safe than sorry, 100%.
Absolutely. These are the percentage goals for this coming season. We are going to have an increase in our returns by 15%. We're going to keep our service quality scores above 90. Our virtual goal is 40%. 40%. And we'll go over in a minute what constitutes a virtual return. Attach rate 70%. That means 3/4 of your returns need to take a product. And small business returns from last year, we want to increase by 15%. We're all going to have to work hard to make that one achieved. All right, here's our SOPs for the season: inbound call quality, and we will be listening to phone calls after the fact and doing a little coaching if we need to, but I know all of you have great call skills, so I'm not too worried about that. Service quality, we know about that one. Schedule readiness. Please, if you see a problem with the schedule, please email me, text me, do something. I need to know if I've made a boo-boo, okay? WIP, of course, is a big issue. We're going to have to bite the bullet and keep the WIP drawer down, and the virtual. We want to assume the client is going to set up a MyBlock account right at your desk. We want to be asking every customer, was your service excellent today? And if they say no, I want you to call me or your ATL over and see what we can do about making that client happy. We do not want anybody to walk out of the building unhappy. And we all know that business and non-business clients are very important. And Work Center has got some great changes. We'll go into that in a minute. And we are going to have to do a hands-on practice with Work Center in the office. I have to sign off that I have seen you do it. So please keep a little time next week or the week after. I know it's Christmas. You don't have to say it.
Marianne, I have a question for you.
Okay.
The whole was your service excellent today? And if they say the service was excellent, but the price is high, obviously that's going to be an issue. It always is. And how do we combat that?
Tyler?
Yeah, so really all we can do is say, we understand, you can explain the value of it, but the best way I would say about it is explain that the survey is to rank our performance for how our service was. It doesn't reflect the pricing. That's probably our best technique there. So just say, hey, we're actually very competitive with our pricing with everyone, and we go through a process to determine our prices each year. And when you take this survey, just keep in mind it ranks me as a tax professional and how I provided service today. So we'd really prefer if you could focus on that. Something similar to that would probably be a winning statement for the tax customer.
Thank you.
What I would say is when you look at all the data and you look at all the surveys that we got last year, if you take out the bad surveys where they said that we just didn't follow up and didn't even mention price, and if those were better surveys, we would have had like a 98% satisfaction rate. It's about 2% of our surveys that are mentioning price. So it's such a small number overall that gives bad surveys due to price that I don't think it's a real issue when you look at the overall numbers, is what I would say.
Thank you. Okay, so MyBlock, digital drop-off, approve online, and video chat are the ways that you get credited for a virtual tool. Digital drop-off cannot be done in the office. We learned that. And Leslie has become the set up the MyBlock account at the desk expert. So I am going to ask her to go over some of her best practices and see if she can help us learn something today. Leslie?
All right, so good morning, everyone. I haven't met most of you, so I look forward to meeting you throughout this tax season, but everyone should have received a text from me, so you have my contact information. But let's talk about MyBlock. I've been, during the preseason with Emerald Advance, I've been having everyone at my desk open their MyBlock account if they have one. And if they don't have one, I've been helping them set up. And then I've been showing them how to take a picture of their pay stub that they've had to bring in for Emerald Advance and saying, this is how easy it will be, and this is what you should do when you get your W-2, so that when you come in for your tax appointment, your tax pro already has your information and is ready to serve you. So I don't ask them, would you like to? I say to them, I do ask them if they have one, and I said, go ahead and open it while you're at the desk as I'm starting to take their application. And if they don't have one, I say to them, let's go ahead and set you up while we're starting this process, while I'm entering your information. So while I'm entering their information, they've gone into the Play Store or the Apple Store and uploaded the app for the MyBlock, so that by the time I'm finished, we've got them set up. We've had them take a picture of their pay stub, and I show them on my screen how quickly I get a copy of that pay stub. And then I show them the features for their Emerald Advance to let them know some of all that app that it can do. And I emphasize to them the features of it that's going to benefit. Some people come in, it's like, well, I need a copy of my tax return. And I show them in MyBlock, if you've done your taxes with us the last 5 years, you can pull that right from there. So if you need that, you can access it without having to come into the office. So I really, really push all the benefits to make their life easier for their taxes. And I think I've had 2 people that I've assisted that have not had one and did not set one up. And one person was like, well, I don't like to use, I'm not comfortable with technology. And another person, they didn't have their phone with them. But it's this matter of assuming the sale, and although this is not a sale, but you assume the sale. And the way you process it is not asking them, do you want one? That question should never be asked. Do you want one? Just say, let me show you how to do this. Let's go ahead and do this while you're at the desk. And I think as we get busy and we have clients in the waiting area, utilizing our CSPs, utilizing our ATLs, so as the clients are waiting, the CSPs and the ATLs can go and assist them getting into their app, because many of them have it, but they're like, oh, I don't remember my password because they haven't used it. Or if they don't have an app, getting them set up. And while they're waiting, letting them go ahead and take pictures of their documents and upload it, so that by the time their tax pro is ready for them, they already have done all of that. So then the tax pro doesn't even have to start with that. They can go right into Work Center and pull up their documents. And it works. We've seen it work.
We've seen it work. Leslie's doing a great job at that.
And it's MyBlock and these virtual pieces are very important. Yes, they're beneficial to our clients, but they're beneficial to you as tax pros. Marianne's going to talk some later about the fulfillment center, and then of course work from anywhere. This is important in order for you to meet the qualifications to be able to pull tax returns from the fulfillment center. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more later.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, so you guys can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, so a little bit more about the Work Center hands-on practice. It's scheduled for 2 hours, but I don't know if it will take 2 hours. You're going to have to come in and get familiar with Work Center. They have a whole bunch of new features. The layout is different. It's very much better than it was last year. So you need to come in, do some work on it, make sure you're comfortable with it, because everything is going to start with Work Center. You have to open Work Center first thing when you get here, and everything else flows from Work Center. So we need to make sure we know what we're doing before we get in front of a customer. If you have not already registered for those 2 virtual classes that have to be done, please do that today. They are filling up and they have to be done by 12/31, and we don't need anybody to get down to the wire and then the computers don't work like they have all week. This week we've had trouble with Inkling and Block Academy all week. We all know that it happens, and it's going to happen at the worst possible time. So please, please don't wait until the last minute. Those classes have got to get done.
And those are the classes that are in the skills one, right?
It's the creating client connections and the small business client journey. They're on your passport.
Right, but I mean, those are the ones that are listed under the skills in the block, right? Those are the ones I emailed you about, right? Or texted you about the other day?
Yeah, you're Charlie. I've got it pulled up. You're enrolled for both already.
Okay. There's just so much crap that you guys have us doing this year. I don't know what's what anymore, so.
Yeah, as long as you stay focused on what's in your Block Academy, it should all be loaded in there. As long as you stay focused on that, that's really all that needs to be completed, from my understanding.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
All right, small business imperative. This is going to be very important to us this year. We've got to make some strides bringing in more small business. We have bookkeepers in the offices. We have people who can answer questions. The tax returns, people are looking for a different way of doing things, and that's what we offer. So we need to make sure that we are always keeping an eye out for opportunities to promote our small business imperative. Let's see. Just wanted to make sure everybody understood how we're getting paid this year. That complicated formula that they had in years past is gone. So it's strictly based on a percentage. If you are a master tax advisor, of course, you're going to make the most money at 21%. Tax associates are at 12%, and everybody else is somewhere in between. And then in this yellow box, you see if the district makes its goal, then everybody will get a little extra. Everybody will get a little extra if the district makes its goal. So it pays to work to help the district as opposed to just helping your own payout. Let's see. Okay, so let's talk about Outposts and Fulfillment Center. Emporia and South Hill are going to become what they call outposts. They are not going to be seeing customers in the office. We have hired CCA's Customer Care Advisor, I think is what that stands for. They will be manning the offices. They will take documents in for people who come in to drop them off. They will scan them into the system, and then they will be responsible for sending it to whomever it needs to go to. Of course, if a customer requests a specific tax pro, then it will absolutely go to that tax pro. If they don't care who they send it to, then we have other options. But just so you'll know that South Hill and Emporia are drop-off only. There's not even going to be tax pros in there. So it's a brand new way of doing things. All right, so the fulfillment center. When somebody brings in their documents to any office, and they don't really care who their tax pro is, we have the option of sending it to a network where anybody in the district can pull that return and work on it. The rules are, though, that it can only stay in the fulfillment center for 8 hours. And those hours count from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And I believe that's Central Time, I'm not sure. But if it's in there for 8 hours, then it opens it up wider into the region, so somebody maybe in our region can pull it. And if it's still there 8 hours later, then it goes to the whole country. And anybody who wants to grab it can grab it, and that's a return lost for us.
Okay.
So Tyler, did you have something?
I was just going to say, after you're done with this slide, before you go to the next one, I want to share something too. That's all.
Okay. The rules to become a fulfillment network tax pro. You must have a virtual tool use of 15% or higher, and you have to have a 90% customer survey score, or you do not qualify to pull fulfillment center returns. And as you see in the bottom piece, they check that every day. If you hit it on Monday, you will be able to pull fulfillment returns on Tuesday. If your score drops on Monday below 90%, then Tuesday you will not be able to pull any returns. So it's vital for you to keep your scores up. That's a great tool for us to increase our return counts, and I don't want to see anybody miss out on the opportunity because you're either afraid of virtual tools or you've had an ugly customer come in. So
what's the 15% virtual tool use? What does that mean?
15% of your tax returns have to have a virtual element, either the video chat, digital drop-off, MyBlock, Approve Online.
And that's from the prior year?
No, that's starting, well, the first set of scores are from prior year, but after the season starts, it'll be reevaluated every day. So your newer scores is what's gonna.
And here's the thing. So the rest of the company, just being transparent, is not very good at virtual tool use. We were in the top 10 last year. So we're already going into this with a huge advantage where there's full districts with 300 plus tax pros. They're going to be forced to upload things to Fulfillment Center that don't have a single Fulfillment Center tax pro. So translation, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of returns from across the country that are just going to be up for grabs on Fulfillment Center. So if I was a tax pro, I would really make sure I get comfortable with AOL and digital drop-off and stuff to be able to do those to have a virtual tool percentage and a CES score high enough to where you'll be able to pull those returns from those districts that just aren't able to execute on virtual. We already are going into the season with a huge leg up for 2 reasons. So last year, we really focused on virtual all year, and I know we talked about it all year. And because of that, we had one of the highest results. And because of that, 2 things happened. When they picked virtual tax pros this year, the TPR tax pros, they based them off of who had the highest virtual first. So when you look at your office goals that I sent to Marianne yesterday, I don't know if she shared those yet, but what you see is this increase in returns, and it's like, oh man, that's aggressive. But it's actually because we grew more virtual tax preparers, TPR preparers, than we ever have before in the past. And each of those people is only scheduled to do about 60 returns virtually, where the reality of the situation is they did about 100 each last year. So we're gonna easily blow away our goals because we're growing those TPR returns, and TPR returns are growing on average about 30% a year, the amount of returns we're getting through that. So we got rewarded from that aspect. And then on the second half, this whole fulfillment piece, we're already well and above the game. There's whole districts with only 1 or 2 people that are going to be active at the start, whereas almost half our district is ready to be fulfillment tax pros right from the beginning. So we're really at a strong place here. And the fulfillment piece, I don't think is going to be as much pulling from our district, but more pulling from other districts that just don't get it or aren't able to execute on virtual tools. I think there's going to be a lot up to grab.
So is there a place you can go and see starting the season if you're at the 15 and the 90? I mean, obviously I know about the 90, but about the 15?
Yeah, so I sent to the leaders the list of people who were originally on that list, and we can share that after the call as well. But after the first day, my thought is that Texas Rangers chat we have going on, I'll send in there where people are with virtual a couple times a week so you know exactly where you are. And then when you go through the Work Center hop, I believe it's going to show you how to see if you're turned on or off for that day just by going through Work Center, and you'll be able to see if you're active for the day or not. And that really just depends on your virtual and CES.
Any other questions? All right, moving on. Did you know that you have the option now of turning on a text message to alert you when your schedule changes? So if we decrease or increase your hours, you'll get an automatic text message telling you what your hours have moved to. It's kind of a cool feature. I've loved it this summer because I've been running here and there and everywhere, and it really helped me to keep straight where I was supposed to be and when I was supposed to be there. So if you're interested in that, the directions are here: appointment manager, staffing, show my info, employee info, schedule change notifications. But I know that y'all are not going to catch it all in one day. So if you need help finding it, please let me know. Please let Leslie know. We'd be glad to help you out. Contact. I'm going to let Leslie take over this section. She's done a lot with our communication efforts so far, so I'm going to let her talk to you about these.
Okay, communication. In order for us to stay on the same page, that's going to be really important. So I know we've been sending communication in various formats and during this preseason. So if you have not received a text from me, let me know. I think I did have everyone in the chat, so this way that you have my my cell phone number. But every morning, every day when you come in, it's really important to check your messages in Work Center, and you have 24, 48 hours to respond to your clients, or then it becomes past due. So that's really, really important to check your messages in Work Center daily and contact your clients as soon as possible. Also, please check your H&R Block email every day that you come into work, because information will be sent through that. Those are going to be our main two, email and Work Center way of sending messages. We do have the Taxes Rangers chat in MS Teams. If you're not in that chat, let us know. We can add you to that chat. If you download the MS Teams app to your cell phone, then you'll get those notifications on your cell phone, just in case it's something urgent that you need to know before coming to the office. So I think Tyler's going to kind of transition to communicating with the team during tax season mainly that way. So it's important that you have that MS Teams access. And if you have it on your phone, that's the easiest and fastest way to get notification. At the end of the day, when we close out, if you have a deposit or any cash or checks that were collected, make sure you let Marianne or myself know so that we can take care of that and make a deposit if necessary. And then the cabinets near the CSP desk, everyone will have an individual folder. So if there's any communication or client documents that's just for you, it'll be put into your folder. So make sure you check your folders on a daily basis.
Thank you, Leslie. All right.
And you'll see me change my communication. So all you're going to get from me is the Friday email that has the Friday updates for everybody. Everything else is going to go through Leslie and Marianne and their lens and how they see it. The only other place I'm going to put stuff is that Texas Rangers chat, and it's just going to be like your virtual percentage and anything that I think the team might like. But it's really that main communication is going to be through Friday communication, and everything else is going to be through the lens of Marianne and Leslie, so they can really control the communication for you guys this year.
Okay, so here is the contact information for me and Leslie. And I wanted to make sure everybody knew we have a new ATL position. Phyllis Bradshaw in Franklin is going to be an ATL for us. Carolyn Mariner is coming back, thank goodness, to Main Street. And Tina Bowden will again be at Constance. I am very, very excited that you guys are back, and I didn't have to go through the process of finding a new ATL. Tyler's phone number and information is here if you need to reach him. And that's the end of my slideshow. But I have a few other things that I wanted to go over real quick. All right. Blockworks is going to be available online. There is training that needs to be done. You need to get that done before you try to work with it. We can do that during the work center hops, but it is something that you're going to have to become familiar with and be able to work with. If you want to be a work from anywhere tax pro, those hours will be scheduled. This is not going to be something where you can just decide I'm going to work for 30 minutes and see what's out there, work on a return. I'm going to schedule you as a work from anywhere tax pro. And during those hours, we can call you, we can text you, we can communicate with you, your clients, you're working on your clients and so forth. And then of course, when you're not on the schedule for work from anywhere, then we go with the normal, if it's an emergency, we call you, kind of thing. But those are scheduled hours. I want to make sure everybody understood that. That is not just, you decide to hop on for a little while.
So if you're work from anywhere, those scheduled hours, do you stay clocked in the whole time?
Yes, absolutely. It's just like working a shift.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'm assuming that, if you don't have anything to do at all, then you would go ahead and clock out and be done. I wouldn't want you to get on there for 8 hours and only do one tax return. But if you, need to make a change, just let me know. Text me, call me, Marianne, I don't have any other work to do. Do you still need me to stay on? But the point of staying on for a little while is we might get something in the office for you. So if somebody comes in and they want Charlie Walker and nobody else, then we want to be able to send it to you and you be able to work on it right then. Right. So it's gonna be a balancing act. It's gonna take some work and some communication.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think a lot of it comes down to communication and just communicating with each other and doing what makes sense. The good thing is I turned on everyone from Work for Anywhere, and we're going to have a call early January for everyone showing how to activate and use that and some of the tricks and tips around it to make sure everyone's comfortable. The other thing, too, is if you have some returns that you can do at home, communicate with Marianne and say, hey, I'm going to clock in for 30 minutes to do this return, just FYI, and then you can do the return and clock out. And think of what that does for your IPP bonus, right? Those of you that have been around here for a while, you can get a huge IPP payout by driving your productivity up. So if you clock in just to do returns, then you drive a lot more money for yourself. Just a thought.
Thank you. Tax Pro bio and photo, please update your Tax Pro bio. And if you have a black and white picture, then we are going to change it. Be prepared for camera day any day that you're around me, because I'm going to grab you and take a picture. So, comb your hair, brush your teeth. If you guys are small business certified, please put that in your bio. We want people to know that you are small business certified. So please do that. And if you would, let me know when you're finished with your bio so I can approve it and get it out there. Let's see. Please make appointments for next year when you're doing a tax return. That was a huge relief this year, with so many people had made the appointment already for next year. It does a whole slew of things for us over the summer, and it does a whole slew of things on calling campaigns and things like that. Nobody likes the calling campaigns, but if you've already made that appointment for that person, then they are less likely to show up on a calling campaign. So somebody has to go in behind you, call them and make their appointment. So please, even if they don't want to do a specific time, just put something in there. First time available, whatever. We all know that they can be changed. FYI, docs from previous years are being scanned into the computer. So if you have somebody that you try to get into 2017 or 18, those documents are going to be scanned in, and the paperwork is likely going to be trashed. So if you're looking for a file that you thought you were working on and it's not where you thought it was, it's probably been scanned and trashed. Let's see. Oh, I'm asking the CSPs and ATLs, but you guys, tax pros too, let's try to find out ahead of time if somebody has more than one state. That became a scheduling issue when somebody sat down at the desk and said, oh, I have 3 states to do. That messes up our hour-long appointments. So if you know of a customer or can find out that a customer has more than one state, please schedule them a little bit longer. Oh, and this one was a big issue. Charitable contributions on Schedule A. Even if the person is single or head of household, please mark the contributions with the T for taxpayer. I know they don't have a spouse. I know it shouldn't be necessary, but if you don't put that T in, our computers will not transfer that to the state return. So we've done a lot of work over this summer, going back, having to call these people, telling them we made a mistake. You know, all you have to do is put that T on every single contribution that you do, no matter what kind of return it is. Scanning is going to be a huge piece this year. Every document you use to do the tax return needs to be scanned. I don't want their bulk bill, but if you used it to do the tax return, it needs to be scanned in. The CSPs and ATLs are going to be helping us with that. They can take documents and get them scanned in if you're not quite ready for them at the desk, and they can have everything scanned for you. We're going to be using pink highlighters. All you have to do is put a little tiny pink mark on it to indicate that it has been scanned. But we're not going to put a scan mark on the outside of the folders. We learned a lesson about that, because documents can get added to folders, and then somebody looks at it and says, oh, that one's been scanned, and they don't open it. But if you just mark it with a little pink line, doesn't have to be anything big, so we know it's been scanned. And please delete the back sides of the scans. If you don't need it, if it's just junk on the back, please delete it. There's a way to do it. If you don't know how, I'll be glad to show you. It's very easy. But it's frustrating when you're scrolling through documents and you got one here and then the back, one here and then the back, and you got to scroll through all that mess to get to what you want to see. We're going to have a new WIP dashboard in Work Center. That's going to be important. That's going to be part of our Work Center hop. We'll be able to make notes to each other, send notes better to each other. I need you to be checking those every day, looking through them. Let's see. Oh, if you have a return that's on hold, I would like to see a note at least once a week on it. That's something that you worked it. Called 12/11/21, no answer. Just anything, any kind of note that you have tried to work that return. That'll help me and Tyler know that that customer has not fallen through the cracks. Availability, if you guys need changes to your availability, it's you guys can't do it anymore. Yesterday was the last day, so let Leslie or me know. Send an email. We'll change it for you. This year I'm going to go radical and not require that bookkeeping sheet. You know, the one that we fill out that says $190 and did you bring the signs in? Did you, whatever all the way down, and then we were signing it at the bottom. Not doing that. The sheet that prints out when you do the end of day, take that sheet. If two people are working, get both of you. Thank you, Charlie. If both of you are, if there's two people in the office, I want two signatures and PeopleSoft numbers on there. Okay. I don't want to have to go look up your PeopleSoft number when I'm doing the deposit and stuff. So if you would just sign or even initial at the bottom of that sheet that you have counted the money, there's $190. We all know what needs to be there and what needs not to be there. So sign it and put it in my folder. Early access for W-2s is supposed to be better, bigger and better this year. If you've ever used it, hopefully that's true, and we'll be able to use it more. If our customers come in and don't have their W-2s, please at least try. See if we can, figure out how to get their W-2 for them instead of letting them leave. Or if they have it on their phone, they can certainly email it to you so we can print it. I mean, there's all kinds of things that we need to try to do to keep from putting that return into the WIP. We talked about the fulfillment. Leslie talked about scanning the pay stubs, but it can be a blank piece of paper, driver's license, anything, whatever. Just try to get them to do it right at the desk. We talked about fulfillment, district goals, your skills. Tyler wants the skills done by the 20th. And I'm going out of town. He's going out of town. We will not be able to chase you. Please, please, please get them done. That's all I got. Anybody else have anything? Leslie, do you have anything?
Just re-emphasizing the skills and those 2 labs that are required. Those labs need to be completed also before the end of the year. So if one of your labs, I think I've seen some, if one of your labs is scheduled for January, you need to go into Block Academy, withdraw from that lab, and then find another lab in December to take. Okay, one lab is scheduled for an hour. The small business one is an hour and 15 minutes. So they're not long, but they need to be done in December. So please withdraw from the one that you're registered for in January and find a December one. And it may be difficult to find one, but every day they are adding more, and you may have to scroll through several pages before you find one with open slots.
Thank you. I will be letting you guys know about the work center hands-on practice as soon as I can. I know it's getting late in the year and everybody has plans, but we're going to have to get it done before December 31st. And you might have to go to a different office. I want you to be prepared that, you know, Main Street people might have to come to Constance or vice versa. We're going to have to do it whenever we can get everybody in. All right, anybody have anything they want to talk about? Questions, comments?
I was just going to throw out there, we're doing this mass text. So Marianne and Leslie and a couple of ATLs have done a really great job of, they pulled all the customers you helped last year, pulled all of their contact information, and we're going to be sending some mass text to them, asking them to know how much their stimulus they got paid before their visit, how much their child tax credit paid they got, asking them to upload stuff virtually automatically, and asking them to make an appointment at the beginning of the year and to upload their W-2. So you'll hit virtual already, they'll have all the information they need for their appointment, and they'll make the appointment to save you time for making all those calls. So we're trying to work smart, not hard here, to make your jobs easier for sure. And then last thing I wanted to say is, I know Marianne's leaving at the end of this season, but she's here this whole season, and let's give her a kick-ass season. I want to see her like top of the rank for this last year. I know that she can kill it, and I think she deserves it. So I would love to see everybody just lean in and help push Marianne as strong as we can, to give her the best we can. And I really also wanted to say, you know, we'll probably do some sort of celebration for Marianne at the end of the season, but just while we're here in front of everybody again, you know, so thankful for everything she's been doing for the district. And I know you guys see a lot of what she does for your team, but just so you guys know, she does a ton of stuff for the district to help out as well, and we really appreciate her.
Thank you. That's very nice. Charlie, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I got a question. This kind of goes for, I guess, to Tyler or you, either one, the pay structure wise. I know in the past we kind of got paid like, you know, a little bit on like the EMO cards and a little bit on for each thing we attached to that. So now is it you just get paid a percentage on the bottom line? Is that what it is for the price of the return?
And it includes those attachments. So I actually did the math and broke it down. Now, if you sell an attachment, you make more money than you did on the old pilot, on the old structure. So each attachment that you sell, you get a percentage of that revenue based off of your level. So if you're at the very bottom level, you make the same amount that you would make last year as a dollar amount for those attachments. If you are a higher than a level 2, then every single attachment that you get, you're making more money than you would have on the old structure.
Anybody else? Comments, questions? Speak freely. And if you don't want to speak freely, then please call me, text me, email me. I'm always available.
Awesome. And what I wanted to say again to Leslie, you know, when Marianne said she was leaving, which, you know, devastating, but at the same time for her family is a great call. When we knew that we were going to fill that role this year and train for that role, I brought it up to the district team, and I will say like 4 people instantly said Leslie, and so far she's jumped into it sprinting and doing everything she can to help everyone. So I'm super excited to have her on the team. And I think you guys are in really good hands there, and she's great at communication. So if you haven't had a moment to connect with Leslie, had some conversations with her, talk to her, I highly recommend, you know, just coming by an office and talking to her, because she's going to be the MTL next year, and she's very open-minded and going into it in a great way. So I'm excited to see what she can do, and I'm excited for you guys too.
One last thing I forgot to mention, I do have an H&R Block cell phone now. So if you have a customer who needs to talk to me, please give them that phone number, not my personal cell phone number. You guys perfectly welcome to call my personal cell phone, no question about that. But if you have a customer that wants to talk to me, I'll It's at the bottom of all my emails, my cell phone number, so you can give that one away to anybody who needs it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. We got done 1 minute late. So I appreciate you listening. I know it's a lot of information. Please call me, text me, email me if you have any questions at all. I'll be glad to go over it again. And Tyler was kind enough to record this, so if you want to see it again, you'll be able to see it out there in Teams. All right.